Maximum Overdrive has a 24 on Metacritic and a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, with such insightful reviews as, quote, not available, maximum crap, quote, not available, maximum tedium, and quote, not available. What is going on with all the quote, not available? Oh, there's another one. It's based on a Stephen King short story called Trucks about, well, trucks that come to life and they kill people. Just like Christine and his other novel, From a Buick 8. The man has a thing for killer motor vehicles, what can I say? Except in Maximum Overdrive, it's not just trucks that come to life, but anything electrical. The reception and legacy of Maximum Overdrive is quite poor, but allow me to make a case for it, as I believe it is truly a film that deserves more. These facts! There have been so many movies adapted from Stephen King stories, I don't even know how many, I'm gonna guess 2,000 to 3,000, but Maximum Overdrive is the only, I repeat, the only film that Stephen King ever directed himself. And he did it while coked out of his mind. He would later go on to say that this was the single worst adaptation of his work, and that he had no idea what he was doing, and he regretted making the movie. But goddamn it, have some self-respect, King! You made one hell of a movie! I fucking love Maximum Overdrive, and I don't care what anyone says. And crazy fun fact, we got some overlap here, and this deserves more respect series already. This promotional video for Maximum Overdrive, with Stephen King in it, uses music from the Halloween 3 soundtrack. Bonus badass points already.
Hi. My name is Stephen King. I've written several motion pictures, but I want to tell you about a movie called Maximum Overdrive, which is the first one I've directed. Wow.
The cast is a weird mashup of people. You've got Yeardley Smith, voice of Lisa on The Simpsons, as a character in this who seems designed to be as annoying as humanly possible. But honestly, I find her really endearing. She starts off just actually being annoying, but after a while she gets so annoying that it becomes genuinely hilarious. And her newlywed husband is very likable too.
I think I just loaded my pants.
He reminds me, oddly enough, of Flyboy from Dawn of the Dead for some reason. He has a decent little arc and he holds his own against the likes of a badass Emilio Estevez.
Adios, motherfucker!
If you liked Repo Man with Emilio Estevez, this is kind of the same weird energy, and it was just a couple years later.
Yeah, let's go get sushi and not pay.
Though that one is generally much better received and has a loyal cult following. Whereas I feel kind of alone on loving Maximum Overdrive. And then there's Bubba, who is completely unintelligible.
Done got scrubbed by one of them big boys out there.
He's so fucking great, but I have no idea what the fuck he's saying.
Get one up your home sick.
I mean, honestly, I can't even form a guess. Can you tell what he's saying?
Fucking truck's supposed to be depot. That was a depot to sure.
I had to dig up a copy of the script to figure out what he's saying. Turns out what he's actually saying is...
Supposed to be depot.
Then you've got the most badass little leaguer ever put into a movie. I mean, look at all these hero shots he gets. You just know this kid was the coolest in his school after shooting this.
Shit.
Got to tell all his friends about riding a bike past dead bodies while AC/DC blasted and hanging out with a coked up Stephen King. Not too many kids get to say that. I mean, hopefully at least. And speaking of AC/DC, holy shit, that soundtrack. The Maximum Overdrive soundtrack is 100% AC/DC. I guess just because electricity. But no matter the reason, it's pretty fucking badass. The AC/DC album Who Made Who doubles as the Maximum Overdrive soundtrack. And it was a mix of re-released tracks with new material made for the film. Everything in this film is scored by badass rock and roll, and it makes no attempt to be scary, mind you. So it's not really a horror film, even if the premise sounds like one. What it actually is a cool as fuck action film with crazy over-the-top set pieces and lots of laughter both with and at the film. Sure, some of the film's enjoyment is in a good bad way where you're laughing at the movie, but there are plenty of moments that are genuinely funny or just genuinely badass.
We made you! Can't you understand?
Want to know?
You can't do this! We made you!
I mean, hell, the film opens with an ATM calling Stephen King an asshole. Need I say more?
Honey, come on over here, sugar buns.
This machine just called me an asshole.
How do people not love this movie? Okay, an ATM swearing at the director doesn't do it for you? How about a renegade soda machine firing a can into a Little League coach's nuts? Then fucking murdering him with an aluminum can to the forehead? Does that do it for you? How about in that same scene when a steamroller makes it onto the field and crushes a child right into the earth? There's rumored to be unused footage of this moment that goes on a little longer and actually shows the kid's head busting open as it gets crushed. And yes, I do want to see that. Thank you very much. But it's also pretty shocking just to see a Little Leaguer get flattened by a steamroller, even if his head doesn't explode like a watermelon. Oh, and speaking of exploding watermelon, we've got to talk about the bridge scene.
What the fuck?
This is right at the beginning of the film, and it's a perfect encapsulation of all that makes this film great. Absolutely everything is ratcheted up to 11. Everything is so far over the top to just an absurd degree. Okay, so there's a bridge loaded with cars, and it starts raising up in the middle. But we're not just going to have these cars roll backwards and tip over. No, we're going to send them fucking slamming into each other with people flying through the windshields. We're not just going to have a truck tip over. No, it's going to be a truck full of watermelons. We're not just going to have a guy on a motorcycle fall over. No. He's going to burn his pants off on the friction and get launched off the bridge like a ramp, even though the bridge opens up, so he's apparently scooting his way uphill at 30 miles an hour. Don't think about it too much. That's kind of like the mantra of this movie. Don't think about it too much. Or at all. Don't think about it at all. Even the AC/DC van is on this bridge when it opens up. This scene is such beautiful madness. Good stuff. And that ratcheted up to 11 feeling remains throughout the entire film. The stunts are huge, the explosions are massive, and man, they keep going on for a very long time. They just keep going and going and going. Let's talk about some of the things that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Every single electrical appliance, from trucks to turkey carvers, from soda machines to pinball machines, even fucking Walkmans. Apparently the cords wrap around people and strangle them. Everything comes to life. Except for the things that don't. There's no explanation, but certain things just don't turn evil. Like the Just Married car. That stays normal throughout, and I have no idea why. I've tried looking for a reason, like maybe there's a specific battery thing going on, but honestly, looking for logic in this film is just a pointless endeavor. It seems like it's supposed to be that trucks turned evil, but cars stayed good. Or just like, neutral, I guess. Except there's plenty of evidence of cars killing people too, like this woman who seems to have been killed by her power windows. I don't know why cars wouldn't be affected anyway. Maybe it makes sense if you're a mechanic, but I don't know. Then there's the opening and closing title cards that are completely contradictory. The film opens with a title suggesting that the electronics coming to life are the result of the Earth being in the tail of a comet. Then there's a newspaper with the comet on it, and it gets mentioned in dialogue too. But then at the end of the film, there's a title that says it was all because of a UFO or a Russian satellite or something. Honestly, I think whoever made these titles just got their wires crossed. Or they don't know the difference between a comet and a UFO, which is kind of funny. The survivors of the Dixie Boy. Oh, don't keep me in suspense. What are they? Are still survivors. Yeah, that was worth the wait. There's tons of little things, like this guy shouting, "Yo, mama," for no reason that I can discern.
Yo, mama.
Or the way the waitress flails her body around while she's giving her pivotal "We Made You" monologue.
You can! We made you!
Someone told her that the more you move, the more impressive your performance, I think. She really took that to heart.
We made you!
And then there's a bunch of bathroom humor, because I guess it turns out that Stephen King just really likes poop jokes.
Has he really got a lot of firepower down in the cellar?
There's a truck that takes a tiny little jump into a field and then explodes for no reason, and then the film cuts away and cuts back and it explodes a second time all over again. At one point, after all the electrical appliances and trucks and all that have been attacking and killing people for a very long time, a random guy wakes up in the back of the truck stop and he smashes open the doors. It's perfectly embodying the over-the-top chaos of the film.
What the fuck?
Yes, it's all very goofy, but how are you going to argue that it isn't cool too? Emilio Estevez playing chicken with a truck, like, come at me, bro, what's up? That's so stupidly cool.
What? What do you want?
Shooting a rocket launcher at a big rig with a Joker head on it, and the mouth catching on fire?
Adios, motherfucker!
Cool as hell. The level of destruction in this film is crazy. It's like a cinematic demolition derby. You know, let's have a bulldozer repeatedly run over this one car.
20 minutes later.
How can we most creatively use a dump truck to destroy stuff? The human characters all sneak out of the truck stop. Then there's a straight 5 minutes of footage with nothing but trucks destroying everything in sight. And you think the human characters are using this time as a distraction so that they can escape while the trucks think they're still in there. But nope, it was too cool for them to look away from. So instead they're just sitting there watching and then they go, should we get out of here?
Can we get out of here?
Yeah, Bill, I think it's time to get out of here.
Let's go, gang. Let's go.
Is this a good movie, technically speaking? I mean, no, of course not. But the enjoyment level is just through the roof. To follow the lazy review pull quotes from Rotten Tomatoes critics, Maximum Overdrive is maximum fun. Quote not available. Do you love Maximum Overdrive as much as I do? Probably not, but let me know what you think of it in the comments. Check out my other episodes of This Deserves More Respect series, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support me, consider picking up a copy of my post-apocalyptic novel, The Fall of Polite. Link in the description, and there's also other videos on the channel with more info on this. Thanks for watching. Yes, this is my real voice, and I'll see you in the next video.